Hey Reddit. One second here. I am Rumpyfin, and a bunch of people in our music asked me to make a video where I show how I use Reddit. I have a condition called autosomal congenital cataracts, and that's a really fancy way of saying that I'm almost completely blind. I see 2% of what you would call normal 20/20 vision. My dad and my brother see slightly better than I do. They see 5%, even though they have the same condition, and no one really knows why. My grandma had this condition, and her father had it, and as far back as we can trace in my family, it's been there. And that's about 500 years. I just had a daughter. We don't know yet if she has it or not. We're going to go on Thursday to find out, and hopefully she doesn't. And if she does, well, I mean, my life's been okay. It's inoperable from what we understand. My grandma had an eye surgery in the 20s, and I know that was about almost 100 years ago now, but apparently she was never the same after her surgery. I never knew her, obviously, before she had it, but all the memories I have of my grandma are of her kind of being very, I guess, I don't want to say feeble, but I can't think of a better word. She kind of always had someone hold her arm, and she wasn't very independent, and from what she always told my dad and my mom and everything, it was just never the same after she got the surgery. So we don't know if anything has changed. We saw a doctor in New York when I was born, called Dr. Greenberg. I don't remember where he was, I just remember his name. And he said at that point in time, this was 1990, that there was nothing they could do about it, and that my parents should just try to give me and my brother the best lives possible, and that's what they did. And I think like I said before, I think I'm doing pretty okay. If there's anyone on Reddit who knows anything about this condition, by all means, comment in the video or comment on Reddit, because I kind of want to know more. We don't really know much about it. We just know that it's a cataract, and it's shaped like a snowflake, and it's really thick, and most eye doctors we go to are really confused by it. Basically, what this condition does is I can't really see much of anything if it's past an inch away from my face, and I also have an astigmatism. So even though I don't necessarily look blind, most people know that there's something wrong with my eyesight just by looking at my eyes, or they assume I'm on drugs, or they assume I'm being rude. It's one of the three. It's either someone asking me, so I couldn't help but notice what's wrong with your eyes, or someone saying, wow, what are you on? Or someone saying, you must be so shy, you won't look me in the eye. An example, I guess, I could give other than the computer screen here would be, this is my deodorant. When I bring it here, it's Garnier Mineral Invisicalm 48 hour. I know it says more than that, but I cannot read anything other than that. I know it's there. I can acknowledge that it's writing, but I can't see what it says. And similarly, on the back here, there's all this small print. No idea. Can't read it. So, when it comes to using Reddit, I have my keyboard right here, and the monitor here, obviously, and a lot of people think that if I just make the window really big, it'd be easier, but actually, because my eye movement is what it is, I read this way. So if I want to read what's on Reddit right now, I put my face here, my nose is against the screen, and I use my right eye only right now, because when I was pregnant, my left eye vision changed to the point where it's now blurry. And blurriness isn't usually part of this condition. This is the first time in my life that I've ever had blurred vision, so I don't really know what to do. But anyway, so right now I use my right eye, and I go from left to right, obviously. So this says Ralph Lincoln, 11th generation Lincoln. And then down here we have, took an unusually majestic photo of my dog. I now have my new family Christmas card. And you can just kind of go down like that. When I go this far away, I can scroll. Obviously, I can see that I'm scrolling, and I can see that there's links, and I can see that there's thumbnails, image thumbnails and all that, but I have no idea what any of it is at all. I basically just know I'm on Reddit because I can tell from this far away what the layout is. I can't read that it says Reddit, but I can tell from the layout that, okay, this is Reddit, and that's about it from this far away. It's difficult, to say the least, but it's the only way I know how to use the computer. The worst was when I was in elementary school and high school, and the older computer towers were tower and then monitor on top, because then I would have to basically get on my knees in the chair to type and to see anything, and it was horrible. Now, if I was going to write something, I'll show you what I do. So, here is this thing about the family Christmas card in RA. So I'll comment on that. I haven't actually looked at the picture. Sorry, but I'm going to say it's cute because why not? So if I want to type, I'm going to say, I'm going to do this. So, oops. So I just wrote, wow, that's a really cute dog. So because of how I type and because I kind of am going off of memorization with my keyboard, I usually afterwards look at what I've written to make sure it doesn't say like something completely unintelligible. So now I look and I say, wow, that's a really cute dog. Okay, so I've proofread, and then if I was going to comment with that, I would hit the submit button, and then there we would be. That's why a lot of my posts tend to have typos, because sometimes I either don't proofread or I try to proofread and I completely miss something. So yeah, that's basically how I use Reddit, and this is also how I watch television. If I want to watch NHL, which is one of my favorite things to do, if I'm on my couch, I just listen to it from there, like as if it was the radio, but if I'm actually right here, I can turn on Viaplay and I can actually watch NHL. When I go see hockey games in person, I have no idea what's happening, but I really like going to hockey games in person because I like the atmosphere, and I actually sometimes have a pretty good idea of what's going on just by listening. I can at least see the players for the most part, normally, depending on where I'm sitting. So if I have seats that are kind of not right on the glass, because at that point it's not the best, but a couple rows up, I can see the players and I can hear what's going on. So I always have a pretty good idea of where the puck is just based on the noises of the skates and obviously the noises of checking and shots and pucks going off the glass or off the crossbar and things like that. So yeah, thanks for watching. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if anyone out there knows anything about this condition and they want to tell me kind of a bit more about myself, that'd be really sweet. So yeah, thanks. Hey everyone. So someone decided today to repost the video I had made 2 years ago where I showed how I browse Reddit, which at the time was mostly on a desktop. I don't know where they found that because it's kind of a relic at this point, but it caused me to get a lot of attention, which caused people to ask a lot of questions and offer a lot of advice that in some ways is a little bit redundant now, since now I mostly browse Reddit from my phone. So I thought I would give sort of a better update as to how I do it now, because at this point I pretty much only use desktop Reddit if I'm doing moderator stuff, since I still haven't figured out how to use Mod Toolbox on mobile. Someone suggested there was a mobile browser on Android that supported it, but I couldn't figure it out. I don't know, was I just not trying hard enough or what, but I couldn't figure it out. So anyway, now this is a Galaxy S6, and this is primarily how I browse Reddit at this point. Similar idea, phone to face, and I can turn so you can sort of see. The thing I like about browsing on mobile is that I can do this. I can zoom in. This is a thread about me, which is a bit narcissistic, I guess, but I've been answering questions. So yeah, I can zoom in, which is fantastic. This isn't the app, by the way. This is the actual Android, the default Android browser. I don't like the mobile Reddit website. I haven't tried the Android app yet, but I sort of have the mentality with this stuff that if it's not broken, don't fix it. And I don't feel hindered. Quite the contrary, actually. The fact that I can zoom is fantastic. And I use this thing that's similar to night mode. Wow. Night mode, that the skin that you can have if you have gold, which I have a gold subscription basically just for this, because it makes everything with a black background and white text, which someone had suggested to me, the original, when I had originally posted the old video, and I took that suggestion to heart. I take them all to heart, by the way. Every time you guys offer me a suggestion, I do take it to heart. Sometimes it's a bit redundant, sometimes it's just stuff that won't work, but you all mean well, and to me that's the most important thing. So never feel bad about offering suggestions, even if they're useless. It's better than nothing, and I appreciate all of them. So yeah, someone had suggested using the black background with white text, and so I did that, and it's been fantastic. I've been really happy with it. It's been much more fluent in terms of browsing, and my eye strain isn't nearly as bad. Since I posted that video, I have had the cataract surgery, as my regular viewers would know, in this eye only. And so now I do primarily reading with this eye, and I can actually keep the phone slightly farther away from my face than the desktop screen. So now my normal browsing, if I zoom, it's like here. So I can have the phone here. But normally, just out of reflex, I still keep it about here. Some people ask me if I'm worried about facial radiation, and the answer is yes, really, very much so. But, you know, what can I do? Nothing. If I want to be able to use my phone like a normal person and contribute to a forum that I usually, sometimes when I'm on a good day, like. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit tricky. There are pros and cons, probably. But the thing that's most frustrating about Reddit browsing on the mobile phone, a mobile phone, I don't know why I can't speak English today, I'm sorry, is that trying to zoom in on an image in Imgur for some reason is really difficult. And I can try to find one that's hosted on Imgur, but now that Reddit has implemented its own system of, this is from Advice Animals, I'm going to click on now. Now that Reddit has implemented its own system of hosting images where you can host them in browser, I can zoom in no problem, and it's awesome. It's the best thing. If you're ever uploading to Reddit or Imgur and or an image and you're wondering should you use Reddit or Imgur, always use Reddit, because it's, for people like me, just easier to zoom. The app doesn't let me zoom. The Imgur app, I mean, doesn't let me zoom from what I figured out, or if it does let me zoom, it's nowhere near enough. So yeah, in that sense, I can't say enough good things about Reddit's interface, but I will tell you what has been bothering me, and that is this stupid fucking pop-up that comes up every time I load the front page telling me to get the app. And I exit out, but it still comes back every time. What have I done? Yeah, it still comes back every time I load. And sometimes, if I'm trying to click on, like, let's say I want to go to our news, if I don't click precisely enough, I will sometimes accidentally click this giant banner, which will cause my phone to load the Google Play Store, which is really, really annoying. I don't understand why, if I click X, it comes back when I load the page again. Why can't it just remember based on cookies or something that I've already X'd out and that I've already said no? Why can't I go into my preferences and click something that says, do not try to convince me to use the mobile browser or the mobile version of the website or the mobile app, because I'm happy with what I have now. I don't know. Again, it's not broken for me, so I don't want to fix it. I guess it's probably psychological for them. You know, they want us to know that they have the app, and of course, the more people that download it and rate it, the more successful it gets, and they probably make money, which is, I mean, duh, it's every business's bottom line, but this is really annoying. And I actually messaged the admins about it once, and they apologized, but nothing happened. And I think the worst thing was the day that they forced the mobile version of the site on everyone, and I temporarily panicked because I couldn't figure out how to disable it. And then some kind soul gave me instructions as to how to disable the mobile website while on the mobile website, so that was frustrating. But yeah, my only real complaint, like I said, is that in the default Android browser, which is what I use, I can't get Mod Toolbox. And, you know, I moderate some pretty large subreddits, and I can't do much about it when I'm on my phone. So I have to still get on the computer sometimes, but it's not so bad. I'm sure there will eventually be a workaround, but until then it's sort of whatever. But yeah, so basically this is the short version of this video. Is I now browse Reddit like this. But the sort of the positive about this is that I'm able to be more comfortable, so I can finally have that experience that you regular sighted people have had for years, where you can curl up on the couch or in the bed or anywhere and you know, browse the internet, because I haven't been able to do that ever before, but now I can. So I sort of feel like I'm in the you know, the normal crap now. But yeah, so to all the new viewers I have, thanks for finding me. I hope you stick around. I don't update as much as I should because I'm super busy and because I work, but I'm happy to have you. And if you have any suggestions of other videos I could make or other questions you might have about my disability or anything, please, if they're not related to eugenics, by all means, ask them in the comments or send me a mail or whatever. I'm always here to answer. Thanks.